I've had a couple people inside my school community ask me, how do I make art? And I noticed that a lot of people are thinking it has to be a traditional method. So we're going to look up a picture of a tree and then draw the picture of the tree, or we're going to do a do-it-yourself project like diamond art or painting, where you get all the pieces, or crochet or knitting even. And it's a very like standardized, more or less like rigid, traditional, step-by-step base piece of art. And I want to share that art does not have to be that way. There is a place and a time when you don't want to think and you're like, I do want to make a sweater. I do want to make, a painting of a tree. And that's super okay. For those of you out there who want to intuitively create a drawing, I invite you to grab a pen and a pencil. Don't worry about an eraser and a piece of paper, and we're going to do a bit of a practice. So the first thing that I always do is I put my hands on my piece of paper. I'm going to show you what I'm drawing, so don't worry, you're not going to be staring at my face the whole time. And just taking 3 deep breaths. I like to close my eyes, breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth. I can tell I'm a little bit more worked up right now. I just got off work. In through my nose, out through my mouth. There you go. I can feel my nervous system slow down. One more, in through my nose and out through my mouth. Oh, that feels much better. And my intention, I always like to share an intention. Mine is, well, it's New Year's Eve, so I am going to send all my energy of 2025 into this picture. It's very vague, super subjective. Let's see what comes up. So starting with the piece of paper and a pen, I'm just gonna draw some lines across. And sometimes just divvying up my paper, I don't know if you can see the lines if they're dark enough, will help me kind of envision what I want. And I like this one because you're just letting it flow. I have no plan, I had no goals or results. And as soon as we get to this spot where you're like, I don't need it to look like anything, judgment kind of goes like, I don't know what you're doing. So I'm just filling the page. Just filling it. I'm gonna do a little circle. It's gonna start getting messy at some point, but I'm totally okay with that too. Maybe there's certain things that come through. Maybe you're doing bubbles, maybe you're doing triangles. Or maybe you're thinking about, what do I want for 2026? Okay, at some point you're gonna be like, this is too many lines and I'm done. You're gonna feel that inside your body. So my brain is saying, it's enough. And so I'm gonna grab my pen and we're gonna choose a handful of shapes. You pick a number between 1 and 10. I'm going to choose 6. And I'm gonna choose 6 shapes. Whatever shapes, you can follow the lines, you can go off lines. This is a complete free-for-all. I really like this spiral I made. I'm just gonna outline this spiral. And instead of leaving it open, I'm gonna close it by attaching to this spiral that I made inside. I'm going a little bit too fast. So if your lines are a little bit wavy and you don't like how straight they are, you can always slow down. It makes it more of a meditative practice. So I'm gonna pick another shape. I really like this one. So that's 2. I really like this line right here. And you get to decide. You can probably hear everybody in my house chit-chatting. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3. I don't know why, but this one is like the baby version. Oh, went a little off the lines, that's fine. And then I like this little squiggle over here. Something special about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of like 5. Maybe I won't do 6. Never mind. I changed my mind. I am going to do this one right here. Okay, so these are my 6 shapes. And now with these 6 shapes, you have many options. You can color them, you can make cross hatches, you can do neurographic art. And so in this picture, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna round some of these corners off. That's what they do in neurographic art. Like that. And you just round off all the corners. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, so maybe I'll just see you round off those corners. I like doing this one because it just kind of like brings the whole, all the ink lines together. I like to work in a felt black versus a ballpoint pen. We were having a conversation inside my community about using pens and how permanent they feel. And a lot of artists do find working in pen quite intimidating, and some think of it as like a challenge, so they can, you know, not worry about making mistakes or having to erase anything, and really embracing their line work or maybe their drawings. I like to draw in pen. Most of the time I don't even have an eraser, so. Okay. Beautiful. So there we go. And so as you do this, you might end up coloring more of these lines. Maybe you'll be adding more things or less things. You can change them so you can add faces and things like that. I am unsure where I want to go with this, but I have a feeling, so I'm going to go off the beaten path. So I'm going to connect these 2 together. There was no line there, but I'm going to connect them and round it off. And then I kind of want to connect these. There is a line here, so I'll follow this one. There we go. And then with this one here, I don't know, there's something about this line that I feel called connecting them. And then as you're going through this process, I'm going to stop there. As you're going through this process, I think it's really valuable to decide if you want to add colors, if you want to add words, if what you want to have it just kind of like pop out. I had no idea that it's going to look like this. I'm going to color it. I've just been told that it's dinner time, so it's time to go. Happy New Year's. I hope this video finds you well and you enjoy just creating art just because we don't need a result at all. If you've created this prompt, I would love to see it inside the school community. If you're not already in, the link is in the bio. Thanks.